Well, last week, an SBS investigation revealed armed anti-Muslim neo-Nazi cells were engaging in paramilitary-style training across Australia. The Australian Federal Police also revealed their nationalist counter-terrorism caseload had grown by 750% in just 18 months. Now, Labor is calling on the federal government to declare right-wing extremist groups, including the ones uncovered by SBS, as terrorist organisations here in Australia. The Home Affairs Minister has told SBS she's in discussions with Australia's security agencies about the groups uncovered last week. SBS investigative reporter Henry Zwartz has this.
The easing of international travel restrictions on the horizon, and with it, according to the Home Affairs Minister, increasing risks of a domestic terrorist attack.
We are acutely aware of the risks that we are facing over the next few months in particular.
The federal government says it's alarmed by an SBS report revealing efforts by far-right extremists in Australia to acquire high-powered guns and discuss tactics with overseas terrorist groups.
The extent was certainly concerning to me, and I have had discussions with my agencies based on that reporting.
Labor's Shadow Home Affairs Minister says the government's $69 million funding for countering extremism over the last decade is not enough.
What we have here is a national security threat, a terrorist threat. We need to take that seriously. We do not need to wait for a Christchurch-like terrorist attack to occur in Australia to understand the danger that we face.
Labor is pushing to have far-right extremist groups with a presence here in Australia listed as terrorist organisations.
There are groups prescribed in Canada and the UK that have chapters here, and yet they haven't been prescribed here.
Labor's Christina Keneally says the change needs to happen as a matter of urgency.
Amassing weapons, connecting with groups overseas, spreading disinformation, this is a national security risk. It's a terrorist risk.
For Australia's Muslim community, the calls can't come soon enough.
I mean, we need the resources to tackle this issue, but it's more about narrative, it's more about the way we describe the problem, and it's more about political will and intent. And I think those things have been lacking, seriously lacking.
The Home Affairs Minister says after recent reporting, she's now considering expanding the terrorism listings here in Australia.
I'm very open to making sure that we are listing organisations as terrorist organisations, so I won't hold back on that. If there are reason to list, then I will actively go out there and do that.
With greater freedom of movement expecting to add to Australia's terrorism risks. Henry Zwartz, SBS World News.